Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Friday, August 15th, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. Before I jump into the charts, I just want to get it out of the way. The fact that we put out two stock picks this week in wickedstocks.com in Teradyne and Magnite, symbol TER and MGNI. And we've have a handful of other signals or videos, stock picks we've put out over the last month. We do 2 a week, 8 a month roughly, that are still valid. And you can see them all by going to wickedstocks.com and taking advantage of our 5-day free trial, in which you'll also receive our daily triple Q and SPY analysis, weekly Apple stock analysis, weekly S&P 500 index and NASDAQ 100 index analysis. You'll have it all for 5 days. And you just might want to stick around afterward because it's a $47 a month package that I think is quite reasonable for everything we provide you. I'm going to leave it at that. Tesla, a 5.5-year chart, meaningful overhead resistance. We've tested quite a bit over the last few months in what I would just call the low to upper 350s, 51.39 up to 58.04. Preceding that, we've had a kind of a 2 to 3 week buy signal that did occur above this trend line about almost 2 weeks ago. That is now at 325.57 FYI. But that buy signal at the time was like a 3 to 5 day really buy signal. At the time we were talking 2 to 3 weeks, but it took place over 3 to 5 days where we actually tested the 347.05 channel top. And this is a early July. Now we're in mid-August. This is like a 5-6 week channel top. Having tested it this week, and we've tested it quite a bit this week, we are anticipating channel support over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And this is something you're probably well aware of, that after having sold the 347.05 channel top, we are now expecting really the 304 handle as a 2 to 3 week target. And these two levels kind of represent, 336.45, for instance, an intraday pivot point. If we open below 36.45, it acts as day resistance that will keep 324.45 in reach today. That is, of course, preceded once again by that long-term trend line at 325.57. So this 24.45 to 25.57 area can contain today's lows. We might even round up from here back into the upper 340s by the end of next week. There's no way of really knowing. So, you'd play the 3 to 5 day swing trade. 3 to 5 day swing trade, you may actually be short if you're a 3 to 5 day swing trader from this 347.05 formation, because we had expected this as a 3 to 5 day target into the mid 320s now.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
Where profits can be taken on a short position and long entry made on a long position as we then possibly rotate back into the upper 340s, low 350s by the end of next week. But we are, over the next 2 to 3 weeks, expecting once again the channel bottom, that is the base to the 347.05 channel top. And if we close today below 324.45, we should by the end of next week see the 304.28 channel bottom, where we could bottom out on a weekly basis, possibly into September. These are the things, once again, you don't really know. I'm confident to say that this can contain weekly selling pressures. My confidence wanes a bit when I say it can contain selling through all of September. But that is the real possibility. We could round up from here back into the low 350s within 3 to 5 weeks of testing 304.28. 304.28 also correlates pretty well right now with the rising trend line on the weekly chart off the lows at 304.33. But as we move through time, it really will be the channel bottom, I think, at 304.28 that will define not only the base of support as we move through the rest of August and into September, but also our next go with sell signal into September. I do want to back up a little bit and just remind you that holding below this longer term resistance in the 350s will keep in reach, not expected, but not to be surprised if we happen to, over the next, I don't know, several months, fall into the mid 250s. That would be clarified with a violation of 304.33, 304.28. So if over the next few weeks we close below the 304 handle support, which I've already articulated not only here, but also, of course, here as a channel bottom on the daily chart. If we were to close below all that, you can then allow the mid 250s. And on the way down, we have other support at 278.32. So I would articulate and nuance all this over time if that sell signal were to occur below the 304.28 channel bottom, which shows up very well right here. 2 to 3 weeks, 278.32, and within a month or two of closing below 304.28, you must allow 255.56, which is, and I use the word quote unquote attainable, not expected, but not to be surprised if after having tested so much this low to upper 350s that we do fall back into the 250s over the next 2 to 3 months, clarified as a 1 to 2 month sell signal following a settlement below 304.33. I think that kind of covers the downside pretty well. Now for the upside again, pushing or opening today above 336.45 will keep the 347.05 channel top in reach again. And it is still able to contain buying through next week, and below which we are still anticipating the 304.28 channel bottom as a 2 to 3 week swing trade. So if you're short now, 2 to 3 week swing trader, you're holding out for 304.28. 3 to 5 day swing trader holding out for 324.45. Day trader opening below 36.45 allows 24.45 intraday. Opening above 36.45 will keep that 347.05 formation in reach today, where we can top out through next week. And as you can see on this chart, it really is the beginning of a wide zone. A little over, almost 11 points exactly, up to 358.04. And that's the way I really want to start articulating this now, that if we close above 47.05, I think, how should I put this? If you're short from 47.05 and we close above 47.05 and you're kind of a 3 to 5 day to a 2 to 3 week swing trader, my suggestion is to exit that short position and let this thing play out for a day or two. Watch it play out. That if we were to then close above 358.04, you can shift into a more decisive bullish posture as we continue not only through the rest of August, but through the rest of the year into the first quarter. I would expect longer term upward continuation to the 520.34 formation. I would say by the end of Q1 26, if we were to close this week above 358.04, which is not likely to happen. I've also mentioned there's other ways to treat 347.05. If you're more of a 3 to 5 week swing trader, anticipating the 304 handle or lower over the next 3 to 5 weeks, you can sell 347.05 and maybe even scale into a short position as we then push into possibly the 350s. But you are then reversing. You're stopping out and reversing, going long above 358.04. That is kind of the longer term approach to this, where you treat it as a range. But the shorter term your focus, the more you're basically exercising, risk management that would have you out of a short position above 347.05. But at this stage, should you go long above 347.05? I don't think so. I think you then wait because it's so close for a settlement then above 358.04. I think that makes sense. I'm going to leave it at that. Please click like, share, subscribe. I'll be back, of course, with Monday's TSLA report, and you have a great weekend.